All right, for more on this, we're joined in by DD India correspondent Anil Thomas. Anil, good morning. We've just given a detailed report on the election procedure in the country, but as we ready for the election dates to be announced today, let us have a quick recap of how different would be the elections this time around as compared to how the elections in 2014 and 2019 panned out.
Well, good morning, Preeti. Purely from a election on election perspective, when you look at numbers, this time around in 2014, the elections were held in 9 phases. 2019, it was in 7. And, this time around, it could be very much on similar lines that, the way things stand, it could be very much on similar lines. Also, when one takes a look or one takes a flashback at the 2014 elections, which began somewhere on the 7th of April, while in 2019, it began on the 12th of April. And in both these elections, the closing dates were the 12th of May in 2014 and the 19th of May in 2019. So we can expect the dates that come this time around very much on the similar lines. Also, when one takes a look at the voter base, that has gone up over the years, clearly the numbers indicate that this time around, compared to 900 million voters in 2019 that we saw, we can see a 6% uptick this time around. So clearly the contest is very much, the Election Commission would have a job on their hands in putting these numbers together, especially in the number of phases that these elections need to be panned out. But when you look at it, compare it to the last two previous elections that we have seen, the first one in 2014 had 9 phases, the one in 2019 had 7. This time around, we could see something on very much on a similar lines. And remember, in the 2019 elections, 3 states had seats or had voting taking place across all the 7 phases, which includes West Bengal, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. So very similar lines, we could see elections pan out this time around too, with the Election Commission likely to announce the dates in a short while from now, that not only for the general elections, but also for state elections, 3 states in the northeast and 3 states in the eastern part of India, and 1 state down south, the Andhra Pradesh, that is likely to undergo state polls.
Yes, all right. Anil, also acquaint us with the demographical changes that can be seen this time around.
Well, roughly around 968 million voters this time around. That's when one looks at a percentage uptick, that's a rise of almost 6% that you have seen purely in terms of election on election, from 900 million to 968 million, 6% uptick in terms of distribution between males and females, roughly around 497 million males and 474 million females that could be casting their votes. In terms of new voters, roughly around 26 million, a little over 26 million new voters have registered themselves, and in that 18 to 19 group, we can see close to 18.4 million voters that would be casting their ballot. And one interesting fact that comes up, the third gender or the third gender that has started voting since 2014, that numbers have seen a quantum jump. This time close to a little over 48,000 voters there in that particular category. This is the mother of democracy, India, that's going to vote over the next 1.5 month. Many faces that you're going to see, but interesting number surely in terms of a challenge that the Election Commission has in purely executing this particular project. It's a mammoth task conducting elections, looking at the topographic, democratic challenges that India possesses, looking at the largest area purely in terms of area when one takes a look at Ladakh, and to the smallest in terms of area when one takes a look at Chandni Chowk. So it's a challenge, a cumbersome task putting this together in a short span of time, say the next 7 to 8 weeks. We could be likely looking at somewhere in the last week of May as counting date. When you see 2014 and 2019 when election dates or counting days were announced. So very much on the similar lines that you could see these numbers play out. But we'll have to wait and watch till 3 p.m. When will India, you and I, get a chance to cast a ballot? The date will be announced then.
All right, Anil, we'll leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details.